Hi everyone. It's a nice September afternoon, and I wanted to spend a minute saying some things about Christian service and the nature of Christian service and the ministry of Jesus Christ. In the 13th chapter of John's Gospel, we read the account of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. And he says to them in the 13th verse, "You say that I am teacher and Lord, and you are right, for so I am." And then he says in the 14th verse, "If I am your teacher and Lord, if I've washed your feet, then you wash one another's." Now some have taken this to mean that this is an ordinance, an institution that's to be now acted out with regularity in the Christian church. That is a possible interpretation, but when you understand the nature of the discussion there and consider all the factors, I would tend to say that's probably not true. Rather, Jesus is making some profound statements about the essential nature of Christian service. And here's what he's saying in essence. To be a disciple of Jesus Christ is to be willing to do the kind of activity that he just performed at that moment. In other words, he took a towel and he washed the disciples' feet, a most meaningless, we would say, or at least menial task, a lowly task, a task involving the commonplace. It's very ignoble. There's no honor associated with it at all. It's simply doing the work of a simple servant without any real recognition or credit whatsoever. See, my dog's getting into the camera here. To be a Christian is to be a servant. And to be a servant is to be one who's not out for their own recognition. Let me say that again. To be a Christian servant in the true sense is not to be one interested in the big show. But it is astounding how we never seem to grasp this in Christian circles. We didn't all the way from the beginning up until the present. We still do not. It's the ones who stand up in the spotlight and seem to make a great name for themselves, seem to love to have titles associated with their names. The bigger the church, the better it is, the more successful the person, so we think. And yet this doesn't seem to be at all consistent with what Jesus is saying right here. What is he saying? He's saying, if you want to be a truly great individual, step down. Do the thing that is virtually, if not completely, unseen. Don't feel the need all the time to take the credit. Don't trumpet your works around before other people. You remember the Pharisees and the Sadducees and that religious group back in Jesus' day with the long robes, right? The long and loud prayers on the street corners. Why? As Jesus said, to be seen by men. If that is our goal, to be seen by men, then we've missed out altogether. Jesus said to them, they have their reward. In other words, they've got it right now. There's not going to be anything afterward. And so, again, when we think about doing what God would have us do in life, if we're thinking clearly, Jesus said, then pick up a towel and do what I do. Don't be out for acclaim. It doesn't matter if you get recognized or not in this lifetime. What matters is that you're doing what God, the Father in heaven, wants you to do. That's what's important. That He, God Himself, sees your good works and He will reward you. To go up, says Jesus, in effect, is to go down. To become great is to become diminutive or small. To be highly praised is not the goal, but to be humble and to walk in the footsteps of our teacher and our Lord. It's a lonely path sometimes. It's a very unappreciated path sometimes. Much of the time, most of the time, we don't nearly get the recognition one could say that we deserve. But we have God's favor. And again, He sees. Remember, He said again, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Let's think about these things when we think about doing that, and which we really should do. And sometimes when we don't get recognized and get credit for it, just know that again, we have God's favor and His blessing on it. May these thoughts just encourage you today. God bless you.